Statistically, there would be no lightning bolt. The lightning bolt is a lineation between three sides of the same field, which is the open, the closed, and the percentile. So if there's a percentile on a lightning bolt, not only does the closed field become a part of the percentile field, the open field wraps around the entirety of the cloak. So if this cloak is actually part of the body of the lightning bolt is still part of the environment. So this is magnetic therapy. It is a instant shock between who gets to have a fire between them and the field they're in. This is why when you have a fire and you shock it with lightning, it goes out instantly. It goes out instantly from magnetics. So the magnetic field would have a origin that erases all electric charge going down, not generating electric charge, because the percentile field has no open field. Only the closed field allows for the open field to gesticulate around two lenses. So these lenses are middle in between the closed field for another field called the rapture field. So there's the gesticulating field and the rapture field both at once, and this is why it simulates wire dynamics. Is because the rapture field erases so quickly that the gesticulating field disperses around it in a twist. So if this lightning effect happens in the percentile field, which it usually does, it usually disperses. It does not hit ground because it has so much charge going forward. So if it has charge in the middle field, which is the closed field, not only does this happen in the clouds, it happens to produce thunder, which is the open field gesticulating around itself over and over again to close the closed field, which is the rapture field. So if a open field begins to summon forth the energy to meet all three fields at once, this means there's a chance that the closed field might meet a source, but for the source to strike a iron so quickly that it closes, it must strike it on the middle field instead of the closed field. So if the closed field is the middle field, why does the percentile field allow for percentages on the closed field? Because it doesn't allow for the rapture field to indulge. The rapture field is the field that allows the Jedi to control their mind. So since the rapture field has surrounding fields of gesticulation, this is what allows the opening fields around it to close even quicker. That allows all forms of lightning to be summoned at once. So if you can understand lightning dynamics, you can understand how time travel works. Because you can understand how space and time are linked. You can understand that space is an open field all at once. You can always look at the open field of space, but you cannot gesticulate that field. The gesticulation field is a rapture field. So if you understand that the rapture field is still meeting in the gesticulation field, this is how Mangekyo forms out of Renegon. So since Renegon is the rapture field, the gesticulating field is the Mangekyo, which means it curves around all parts of the field. So since the Mangekyo is a Sharingan of lightning, not only does the open field begin to erase, you have to time the open field on the closed field on the mid-between just in case the percentile field closes. And once you have the percentile field summoned, not only do you have the chakra energy to summon the crown and jewels amongst them, there has to be time for the closed field, which is the percentile field, to meet back up with it. And this is how you dynamically charge a rapture field by allowing the gesticulation of the percentile field. So percentile fields are open source. They revolve around one another no matter what. And this is how Mangekyo works. The percentile field just opens. So if the open field of the percentile field does not close, the percentile field becomes a rapture field. And the percentile field never becomes a rapture field. It must close the rapture field. So if the rapture field opens, not only does the gesticulation increase, it means there is no more rapture field. It must be able to have a source. And the source of the open field would be clouds. So clouds are memberment of the rapture field because they do not allow for light and energy to member themselves back into a single bond. The bondages of these fields are the gesticulating fields not having memory. So the memory of the gesticulating field is sourced to the embryo of the memory that they had, that they remember that there is a percentile field still joining with the open field, and they move past one another so statically that it rebursts back into both fields at once. And once these two fields close on one another, they increase on the open field that destroys the field completely. And this is called a burst. This is how burst dynamics work. It opens the field that allows the Jedi to remember when the open field was there. It remembers that the open field was there when the closed field no longer had burst.